Okay, hello everyone. Professor McCoy, welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. I want to apologize from the outset for my uh, minimalistic voice, let's say. Um, I gradually lost my voice again with some delicious but not very kind on my esophagus Mexican food the other day. It was very good, but, caused some problems. Um, Basically, I have my voice. I have not lost it, but it's not exactly what it should be. So, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to equip everybody while I begin talking about stuff as as people join in. Who can I level? Cassandra needs to level up. Uh, yeah, string. I'm never going to use Sarah. Anyway, so like I said, it was delicious. It was an Aztec soup, sopa azteca. It is some kind of chicken-based broth with tortilla strips, cheese, um, some various other things. God. And avocado chopped in. It was very good. It was a deep red broth, very tasty. But man, tell you, it gave me quite the heartburn to begin. Then the problems really began. I started to lose my voice. Anyway, I'm okay. It's not a big deal. It's not terrible. Eh. Magic attacks. No, it's fine. Then revival. All right, where can I put these? No, not that. There. And I like Stone Fist. I like Fist of the Maker, or whatever it's called now. Need revival. Never uses Meteor Storm. Maybe I should. You know what? I'm gonna put it instead of Dispel, unless I know I'm fighting a Rift. How about that? Green Bull, I'm probably never gonna use. Fine. All right. Anyway, of the various things that have been going on lately, I have been um, pretty good. Let me equip Blackwall first. I'm gonna use him. Um, of the various things that have been going on, I've been keeping an eye on some various media stuff. I've been watching. Well, I haven't been watching. I've been. Ooh, there we go. I haven't been watching, but I've been keeping an eye on Kenobi, and it's not good, naturally, as one would expect. Um, your magic. Yeah. It's, as I said, it's not actually good. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I'm not a little bit disappointed. I'm extremely disappointed. As I've talked about this before, I was talking about a lot on Monday. I talked about a lot of the problems there in terms of the 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 fight choreography, the all sorts of stuff. There were big problems with it. Now I'm gonna keep him in the revered defender armor on him, especially. It looks bad. What does he have? Guard belt. He needs the guard belt. Yeah, all of the leaks were right, because of course they were, including the ones about Riva, and a lot of them were very, 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 almost unbelievably silly. It's very unfortunate, really. I'm I'm more disappointed in this show being awful than I have been in most of the recent bad Star Wars shows. And again, it's primarily because it had a lot of potential. Had a lot more potential. And the potential of this show, this could have been absolutely incredible, but it really just turned out not to be. Oh, that looks so terrible, especially on him. There's no way. I'm not wearing that. I need to craft him better armor if I'm actually going to use him. That's what I need to do. Anyway, yeah, it's I'm mostly disappointed because I have seen that Kenobi fan film that I've talked about before, and it was so good. It was unbelievably good. And to see that that basically what they've done instead sort of looks too chonky. That looks ridiculous though. Ridiculous. Yeah, what it could have been, like seeing what it could have been, is honestly deeply, deeply disappointing. I can talk about it more if you guys want. But like I said, it is what it is. It's basically what I expected it to be, which is, like I said, very disappointing. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of like specifics of what I can and should talk about for the last episode. One of the things that has been bothering me basically throughout this entire show, and really, honestly, one of the things that has been bothering me throughout all of Disney Star Wars, has been the a lack of any sense of space. What is this? That's a fishing pole. That is a literal fishing pole. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Like I said, it's any idea of distance is just gone. Entirely gone. And part of the reason for this is oh wait, yeah. Part of the reason for this is that we see throughout a kind of what a lot of critics have been calling teleportation. That basically hyperspace takes literally zero time in the narrative, and what we wind up seeing is people just going from one place to another place halfway across the galaxy in minutes or less, which is, I mean, it's disruptive. It's disruptive to the narrative because it removes things like it removes stakes, obviously. It removes the possibility for predicting what can happen, right? If it's impossible to predict what can happen and who is capable of what, under what circumstances, all that, if that's impossible, then there are no stakes anymore. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Because if you can go from some of the locations we have on the map, we know where they are. And it's like, for example, one of the examples I was looking at very specifically because I was curious about this one is if you look at the distance between the Mustafar system, where the Fortress Inquisitorius is, and Jabim, where the proto-rebel base is. They're on almost literally opposite sides of the galaxy. They basically couldn't be farther away. And because they are just so unbelievably far away, a distance of, what is it? I think I measured it out to 22,000 parsecs. Which is very far, and there aren't exactly hyperlanes directly linking them. For someone to get from Jabim, or close enough to Jabim, to Fortress Inquisitorius, the Mustafar system, in time to save Leia, and then back to go evacuate, that can't have taken less than several days. But that is not what we see at all. And that drives me nuts. Because it very much should be. Ooh, should I just keep the Prismatic Great Axe? I should. He's going to keep the Prismatic Great Axe. Never mind. I'm never going to use him, but when I do, he'll have the stupid weapon. Anyway, it's disappointing. Very disappointing to see. I apologize again for my throat and my voice. It isn't as it should be. This coffee's helpful though. Anyway, like I said, I'm very disappointed by a lot of the deconstructive world building, or the anti-world building, the world unbuilding, all you want. In addition to the weird effects and things. Oh, and of course, I mean, everyone's kind of been talking about it. They stole the scene from Rebels. Which, this would have been a really impactful scene where, I hope no one went spoilers. Don't watch it. I don't recommend watching it. But it's the part where it's Obi-Wan and Vader's big rematch of the century duel. And, Obi-Wan cuts open his helmet and see Anakin's face beneath, and it's Hayden Christensen under the mask. You can see, and there's a cool effect to it and everything, and it's wonderful. It is honestly really good. It's a good moment, but they already did it in Rebels. They did basically almost exactly the same thing in Rebels with his duel with Ahsoka, and it's like they either don't expect people to know or don't expect people to care. I'm not sure which. I'm honestly not sure which. Or they're very disappointed that they wasted their big moment in an animated kids show or something. Which I can understand that, honestly. Like, really, I can understand that. Like, you don't want to waste your big moment on a kids show. You want that big reveal of Anakin facing down with his old friend, face to face, eye to eye. You want that live action, and you'd love to have it with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen. But yeah, they did it like 7 years ago in Rebels, and they did it really well in Rebels. Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of silly to go on YouTube, look up a game, and not expect spoilers. Oh, you're talking about I'm talking about Star Wars. Hello. Also, hello, welcome. Yeah. I'm talking about spoilers for Kenobi. Last episode came out yesterday.
Need wheels for the training.
I mean, it's not really like a big like a plot spoiler. It's more of one of those cool little scenes that they did a cool thing in. More like that. So the spoiler, if anything, is more like it's spoiling what kind of cool event stuff happens. That's really it. As I've said before, though, let's bring Blackwall, Solus, and Cassandra. Yeah. As I said, though, it's I've said this before, and I think that the writers for this show, and honestly for a lot of the Star Wars media, and honestly a lot of modern media seems to do this. They don't write plots so much as they write really cool scenes and then stitch them together.
So this is where the Sulavine blade was lost.
With something resembling
Lost
a plot.
or misused. There is a reason it was never reclaimed.
I'm gonna leave it at that, Solus. You're not gonna tell us more. Although I will say, as far as spoilers go for this game, for most of my streams, I try not to explicitly say major plot spoilers. I don't really mind it in the chat so much if you want to talk about something cool. And I'll try and talk about certain things like, egg. I'll try and talk about it in a way that if you don't know what I'm talking about, you won't know what I'm talking about, Sometimes that's unavoidable. Like, I am also playing Knights of the Old Republic Mondays. And there is a huge, massive character and plot twist near the end of that game. Actually, we're coming up on it. We might actually get there next week. Sapling bends, so must you. Wave the bow. Pretty cool. This is neat. I forgot how in-depth this place is. This is going to take us all night, isn't it? 3 trees. Yeah, there's a major plot and character spoiler, or big twist, that if I were to just even refer to the main character by name, it would massively spoil, like, the main twist in the game. And if you have not played it before, which, I mean, come on, there's very little excuse for not having played Knights of the Old Republic by now. It is... How old is it? Is it 20 years old? It'll be 20 years old this year. So if you haven't played it yet at this point, I mean, you probably know what the spoiler is, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody because, damn, it is one hell of a moment. And honestly, it's the same with the big secret surrounding you-know-who in this game. That's a huge twist, and it's a really cool one.
Be careful.
So,
there may be a reason this ground has lain undisturbed for so long.
Eileen says, my opinion is if you're playing a game and want info about it without spoilers, you Google the info you're stuck on, not watch YouTube. YouTube should expect spoilers. That is also very true. Typically, I will say, when I watch a playthrough of a game, when I watch a Let's Play, or where's Veilfire? When I watch a Let's Play or playthrough, whether that is a commentated or even like just a straight playthrough, like a non-commentated Let's Play, if those still exist, I will typically... I'll only do that when... Oh. Hi there. I should have seen that coming. That was easy. I'm wildly overpowered for this. Oops. Anyway, yeah, I will only really... Oh, the hilt.
It's only
Let's
part
see.
of the sword. The elves broke it after all.
They performed a ritual they did not understand. It appears they paid the consequences for it. That corpse was possessed by a pride demon. I doubt it was alone.
There must be more altars.
Huh, cool. There's more backstory to this, isn't there? I don't remember what all the backstory is to this, but I know there is more. We'll find out as we go. This is one of those minor little quests that I honestly don't remember very much of. I don't need it. Yeah. So we'll learn as we go, shall we? Yeah, it's like, anyway, as I was saying, I really will only watch a Let's Play, typically, if I either have already played it, or either don't intend to, or don't mind spoilers. Sometimes I don't mind spoilers because I'm probably not going to play it. That happens a lot. There's a lot of games that I'm probably just not going to play, but I really want to see how they go. The what are they called? Not Supermassive. The Until Dawn folks. Those. I don't really play games like that typically. Not usually. But man, the stories on those are fantastic. Even the... So I've talked about all of them, I think, by now at some point or another. The Dark Pictures anthology ones, the short ones, the ones that come out each Halloween or so.
Your abilities are remarkable, Seeker. It is fascinating to see how you and the Templars negate magic.
They've been mixed.
Have you never encountered Templars before?
Only at a distance. I am an apostate after all.
And they never caught up with you even once?
I am a very careful apostate.
Or you weren't around for them to catch up to you. Anyway, I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, I don't tend to play those sorts of games. They're not really my style typically. I don't usually get super into horror games, and even if I do, it's more the survival kind of horror. So if I'm gonna be doing something like one of those, maybe I will eventually. Who knows? But if I do, the other thing about those kinds of games, the kinds of games that I really don't mind spoilers in like watching a Let's Play. One of the reasons I don't really mind games like that is because there's branching paths. There's all sorts of different ways that the story of the game can go, and so if one way the game can go is spoiled, that's okay. I mean, part of the fun of those games is to figure out how to get different endings and that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of fun. If I honestly, this one, like I've never played Until Dawn. I kind of should. I haven't played any of them. But I've seen playthroughs of all of them. The Dark Pictures anthologies, the anthology ones, which the first one was okay. Little Hope was kind of bad. And then this last one, the ancient Sumerian one, ancient Babylonian one, sorry. I forget what it was called. It was actually really good. Yeah, I would say really good. Not perfect, but it was very good. What the heck is that? What's this do? I'll take it. But this recent one, The Quarry, that's what it's called. I have seen a playthrough of it, and it looks really good. I might actually play it sometime. Maybe even on stream. I don't know. If you guys want, sometime later, eventually. It could be a fun thing to do. Fun game to play. It's also worth noting. It's barely a game. It is still, like, very cinematic. There's even a cinematic mode where you make your choices like ahead of time and just watch the game play itself like a movie. Which, I mean, we've just been waiting for that to happen, really, with games like this. Because that's kind of... What happened there? Okay, no, we're fine. Oh yeah, I missed. That's cool. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it was really good. I might want to play it sometime. There's very little to even spoil about it, just because the monster gets revealed very early. There's a couple of major twists, but again, those are depending on how you play it, too. So, Kathleen said Dragon Age is cool because even if you're in the same area, your choices might vary from what you see someone else play. So you can watch YouTube and still see new content. Yeah, that's true. There's so much in this playthrough that I've never seen before, because I've never played a rogue before. Some of the decisions I've never made exactly this way, because RPGs like this are so decision-based. They lend themselves to replayability, and they also lend themselves to sort of public interaction like this. What I really like about it. Really like it. That's another thing I really love about sort of choice-based RPGs. Martha is dead. I don't even know if I've heard of it. Freaked you out like a train wreck you can't stop looking at. Interesting. Interesting. Let me try and read this out dramatically. Again, pardon the voice. This was once a sacred place. Othran cared only that the veil was thin. He knew the right. We did not question. Now I wonder what fell spirit whispered in his ear. Four cried as our own would cry. The blade cut each throat and they were silent. Human blood taken, as elven blood had been. Innocent blood. I let the spirits take the bodies. I let the others fall. Therein lies the justice we deserve. With what strength remained I sealed them. With what strength remains I, Eidolon, declare that we were wrong. For a moment the scent of fresh blood hangs in the air. Then it fades. So, I'm trying to remember exactly the plot for this. It seems like it's basically that there was this ancient blade that they had that had some kind of great dark magic in it, and they've been trying very, very hard to get rid of it, to bind it away, to destroy it as best they could, but they ultimately failed to. Something like that. And we are undoing their careful work at destroying. So cool. This can't go wrong. I do have to say, the quarry had some disturbing parts to it. Really creepy parts. They were really good. I think they honestly also did a very good job capturing kids. Not perfect, obviously, but they did I think a pretty good job capturing what kids are like. Because the premise, which I'll explain the premise, I won't get into any real plot spoilers because it is really good. If you haven't played it, I recommend either playing it or watching it. Either way, or both, maybe both. But yeah, it's the premise is a bunch of like high school teenagers are camp counselors at this summer camp called Hackett's Quarry. And they get stuck there one extra night longer than they were supposed to be. And horror ensues. And horror ensues pretty quickly. It's really good. And then says, have you ever played King's Quest? It's not a horror game, but I think you or the missus might really like it. I've heard of that. It sounds really familiar. I don't think I've played it. I don't think so, but maybe. It sounds really familiar. Oh, what now? Hello? What's happening here? Was that supposed to happen? I have a feeling that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, hyper focused on this over here. Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. Kylie says, Until Dawn is a horror game I've played till the ending. There's some moments make you nearly wet yourself. Yeah, I love the... It's old enough that I'm okay spoiling it a bit. It had such good monster design.
Dagna can find a way to restore it.
The monster design in Until Dawn, the Wendigos, was really good. They are uncanny enough to be roughly humanoid, recognizably humanoid, but still absolutely monstrous enough to be terrifying. And they have especially the hold still, they hunt by like they can only see movement thing. There are some great moments they play with that. It is so good. It's a really good mechanic too with the hold the controller still thing. Really good. Really cool. What's the other thing? They don't have an equivalent mechanic like that in the Quarry. They have something similar. Because all of those games have something similar to that. But the one in the Quarry is you have to hold your breath, so the monsters or the bad guys or whatever they are, whatever happens to be chasing you or tracking you, so that they don't hear you. So you hold your breath, and you have to decide how long to hold your breath until you think it's safe to run away. And when you decide it's safe to run away, you let go of the button and you run. And if it's safe, you're good, you run away. If it's not safe, then you get got. So that's really cool. It's a pretty good mechanic. It's a decent substitute for not having motion control in your controller. Yeah. The one thing though is that the monster design, the creature design in the Quarry is a little bit derivative. It's a little too similar, I think, to Until Dawn. It's not exact. It's not exactly the same creatures, but it's clearly, I guess, inspired by Until Dawn. They have the same general body shape. They're like lanky humanoid kind of thing. They do look somewhat different. There are some additional add-ons to the creature design that are legitimately spooky. Legitimately really spooky. But it's not like they're not breaking new ground with anything. No. Yeah. Kylene says reminds her of Spirited Away, the Spirited Away movie. Holding your breath crossing the bridge. Yeah. All right, let's go back to Skyhold for now. All right, my goal for this one for tonight is to explore and side quest enough so that we have access to all of the high dragons for next week. Next week, I want to do a whole stream, all 3 hours, nothing but hunting and killing all of the high dragons that we can find. Because we are, I think, of sufficient level so that we can actually get to all of them and probably beat all of them.
Your worship.
That should be really cool. Should be a fun one. I look forward to it.
A forge like this, who needs the view?
Thank you for your investment in my investigations, Inquisitor. I've learned something, I think. I don't know.
What have you learned? Did you find out about the Fade?
I got a scraping that was cleaned off you, and it's weird. And the other rift bits, they're weird. It's just weird.
Does not sound like you learned a lot.
Answers, Dagna.
Lyrium and the Fade linked, but dwarves and Tranquil not linked. But they work lyrium, so they are. Somehow. There's something there. I was face deep in a rune, and for a moment, I was tall. Really tall. And I thought all the thoughts.
So, I wonder if she was seeing through the eyes of a Titan. This is a very appropriate timing with the Descent DLC, I think.
You felt taller. How much taller?
Like mountain tall. Or I was the mountain. But I was moving. I felt dizzy. You know what I remembered? Watching a shaper it carve the wall of memory, except big. Isn't that weird? Maybe there were fumes.
Yeah, could have just been a drug trip. That's possible, too.
What do you mean when you say thought all the thoughts?
I don't know. As if for a moment I was around all my people, and my thought was all of theirs.
Your thoughts were their thoughts?
No, my thought was all of our thoughts, like parts. Ugh, words are mush. Maybe that's what the stone feels like. Or we think it feels like. If we think it feels. Creepy.
There's a very cool connection here to what is to what's called in scholastic philosophy primary and secondary causality, which is usually a distinction between the causality of the divine and the causality of creatures. You can make this distinction between any different layers of causality. That there is the primary cause, which is the first originating cause. It is that which is causally responsible originally for the existence and action of something. And then there is the secondary cause, which is the proximate or immediate cause. Both of which are essential, both of which are co-acting, working together. The most common application of this distinction is between divine providence and human free will. God ordains that we act in certain ways and that we do certain things and that we are destined in certain ways, but we also act freely. Both causes cooperate in order to complete their effects. Another example of this might be, and this kind of ties into what we were talking about a little bit of story writing. I think it's a problem. I think it's a severe problem. Oh my gosh, this is a weird connection. I need to make a video about this. Oh man. Okay, so the other way to look at this this kind of connection between primary and secondary causality is the kind of causality between an author and a text, and within events, and the kind of causality between events within the text. Right. So there are 3 causes for anything that happens in this game. 1, the writers. The writers cause events in this game to go a certain way. They cause it to be such that when I ask this question, Dagna will answer in a certain way. So that's layer number 1. Layer number 2, me. I am causally responsible for almost everything that happens within this game. In other words, I'm causally responsible for asking this question rather than just encouraging her to keep at it. If I didn't choose this rather than that, then Sable wouldn't ask, and then Dagna would answer differently. So there's a causal relationship there. But even that isn't the most immediate kind of causality. The most immediate kind of causality that we can talk about is Sable, character, Sable, the character, asking the question and Dagna answering the question. There is a causal link there between the characters and their decisions, which are, or at least should be, in a good story, they should be causally related. Just like anything in the real world might be. But then we also have these other determining causes that go back a layer, without taking away the genuine causality that takes place in the game. Because in the game, you can say that there's a direct, real causality between Sable swinging a dagger and damaging a monster, right? Damaging one of the corpses or something like that we just fought. It's real causality. That is, A causes B, but so does A prime and A prime 2. Right? A prime being me hitting the attack button. A prime 2 being the writers and programmers of the game putting in certain mechanics, and making those mechanics work in certain ways. All of these things cooperate in causal responsibility for Sable stabbing something with a dagger, or Sable asking Dagna a question and Dagna answering. All of these have to cooperate together. And these are all equally real causes. Without any one of those causes, you wouldn't have a game. Without the first one, without the game designers designing a game, the game wouldn't even exist. I could be telling the story, but it wouldn't be structured as a game. There wouldn't be mechanics to it. Without me, as the sort of center input, it would be more like a movie, or a book, or literature of other sorts, without that interactivity. And without the causal sequence in the game, like Sable's actions causing, right, Sable's asking a question, causing Dagna to answer in a certain way, without that kind of causal interaction, it wouldn't make any sense. Right? I could interact with the game, I could cause things to happen, but the actual narrative in the story would make no sense. It would be disconnected from, it would lose verisimilitude, let's say. No, most fiction doesn't have that middle stage, the player, right, obviously. Most fiction, it just has the author and the text. But there's causality in both layers, right? In the author causes certain events to happen. But so do the events within the book, or within the movie, or within the media. So the events within the media cause one another, or they should. And that is, I think, one of the biggest differences between good and bad writing, fiction writing at least, is that in writing fiction, the events cause one another. There is a causal link. There is a realistic world being built that is causally interacting with itself, and that it is the author that is writing it, causally responsible for it, but on a completely separate level. And the theological equivalent of the opposite of this is that which denies secondary causality, which says that it is only the author which writes. The theological equivalent of this is called occasionalism. I talked about this last week, maybe. I might have been on Discord or something. But I was talking about this recently. Occasionalism is the idea that actions and choices of characters, or people, or physical things even, are not themselves causes of anything else. Rather, they are occasions upon which God acts. God is the only cause responsible for anything that occurs. Okay, that means that there is no real causal connection between things in the real world. Everything's caused by one layer. This was very common in a lot of different monotheistic theological traditions in the early Renaissance era, early Renaissance period. Not just in Europe among Christians, but especially, but not especially, but also in Islam, where it really caught on later on. It caught on there and stayed around for a lot longer than it did in Christianity. I think even Judaism had a bit of a flirt with occasionalism, if I remember correctly. It's a little bit outside my time period, really specialized time period, but I know a little bit. I know well enough. But I think that you can also trace this bad theology to bad writing, where the bad writing is of a similar kind, where events happen because the writer makes them happen, rather than those events being caused by other actions, events, and choices within the text, within the fiction, within the sub-created world, to use Tolkien's language. And this is why we have crap like, this is why we have crap like Kenobi. We go back to that. Eileen says, I would like to see more personality disorders in games, mostly for awareness. A flat-out diagnose this mental disorder horror game would be intriguing. So something like you experiencing the world through the eyes of someone with a severe mental illness. And based on how you're experiencing things and what's going on, you could have to diagnose what it is. Something like that. That could actually be really cool. I mean, hell, that could cross over with like psychological training exercise, honestly. I will say though, I've heard a lot of praise from like working psychologists of Hellblade. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice as a wonderful depiction of what is it? Paranoid schizophrenia? I think. It's a good depiction. In any case, it's a good depiction as well of just dealing with trauma, of a main character dealing gradually and with extreme difficulty with trauma, which is often personified by monstrous creatures and evil enemies and things like that. That, and it was a very good mechanically a very good game. Just the puzzles and the combat and everything were just very good. Oh, down my gain a little bit. I think my voice is coming up a little. Am I peaking? I get the feeling that, yeah. How's that? That might be a little better. Lynn says I was 40 before I even heard the term Dark Triad. Shouldn't be that way. Knowledge is power. Yeah, that's actually very true. I mean, a lot of what I know about psychology I know from media like crime dramas and stuff. Which, I mean, Dark Triad is bread and butter for that sort of thing. Like, I used to really love Criminal Minds. I have trouble watching police procedurals sometimes, though, with basically the lionization of trampling on anyone's rights and that kind of thing. Yeah. When you know a little bit about what the FBI is really like, you kind of a little bit harder to immerse yourself in the world, but that's it. That's it. It was a good show for at least a while, or at least a good while. Anyway, back to what spurned this, or what brought up this conversation. Talking to Agna about thinking the thoughts of, or her thought was everyone's thoughts. The reason this brought this idea of primary and secondary causality to my mind was that there is this, that even though there is this primary layer of causality attributed to God, to the divine, God is still understood under this model to be perfectly simple. That is, to have no parts, no divisions. That God's action is a single action. God's thought is a single thought. God's being is a single being, and that there is no progression, change, alteration, or being affected in God. And so, even though God is causally responsible for everything that there is, including down to the ingrained, down to the fine, granular, individual person, action, event, item, etc., that causal action is a single action. And that's, I think, a big point here to take away, because I think, like I said, I've said before, I think that this game does tackle theological issues and theological themes quite well, especially with the sort of androsity and understanding of the Maker, or at least the sophisticated understanding of the Maker that we see among scholars and stuff. As really, I think it would be fair to say, really a monotheistic God, more so than you'll often find in a lot of depictions of religion, especially in high fantasy. High fantasy is notorious for just kind of just sort of making up implausible polytheisms, something like that. I don't know how to say that without it being dismissive, but there's often theological issues with high fantasy because most high fantasy authors are not theologians, which is why Tolkien's work, one reason why Tolkien's works have survived to the extent that they have. That's nice on my throat. By the way, I usually introduce this. What I'm drinking, a Hemingway daiquiri. Primarily because it's delicious. It's rum, a couple of juices, and maraschino liqueur. I usually add a splash of grenadine, which is where that bright pink color comes from. Plus ruby red grapefruit juice helps. And, oh man, it is a delightfully Floridian drink. And it is perfect for the start of White Boy Summer, which started Tuesday, evidently. So, I don't have pit vipers. And if I did, I wouldn't be wearing them at night. Anyway, let's see what more she has to say with this.
So Tranquil and dwarves are linked to Lyrium, but also not linked.
Like the lyrium needs to flow, but if you're part of it, it takes you with it. So you can't be part of it. That makes me sad.
What?
I'm not sure why. It seems like we should be part of it. Whatever it is. Or maybe we're the ones who make it happen. Whatever it is. You know what's frustrating? Answers that aren't answers. Blah.
Okay, so that lost me. If you're part of it, so it's like a flow. It needs to flow. And if you're part of it, it takes it with you. So you're not part of it. Right. Okay, so this is sort of Parmenidean. Can't step, or Heraclitean, I guess. You can't step in the same river twice kind of thing. Everything is flux. Because let me try and expand on this analogy a little bit to make sense of the nonsense that she's spouting, if we can even do such a thing. You step into a river. To become part of the river, to be part of the river, is to be both stationary and moving. There is permanence and there is change in the same substance, because the river is what scientists will call a reductive structure? No. Dissipating structure. That's it. Its existence is its passing out of existence. Its consistency is its change. Now, Aristotle figured this out. Its act potency is how Aristotle figured this out, and this was the big problem of the pre-moderns, not the pre-moderns, the pre-Socratics. Pre-Socratics had a huge problem of figuring out how it is that change and constancy work together, because it seems like they can't, and modern science has a problem with how that works too, because we're basically pre-Socratics right now. Don't worry, we'll figure it out soon. I really hope. There's a big move toward neo-Aristotelianism, at least in philosophy, especially in philosophy of science. So there's hope. Anyway, setting that aside. If you join with the river, you become part of the river, whether that's floating in it, dissolving into it, whatever. You are moving. Oh, you're going down the river. So you can't be a part of it. Because a part of it is, say, this section of it. Even though what it is the water constantly flowing through it. So the parts and components of this section of the river are constantly changing, constantly moving. So if you become part of that river, you're flowing down it. You're not part of that river anymore. You were, not anymore. And so I think that that's also part of, now maybe I'm going too far with this, but it can also be part of our relationship with the nature of reality as well. The reality works like this, in large part. Especially the metastructures that we are part of. Suppose like we are all parts of things like families, like cities, like nations, like identity groups, like whatever. And if you're part of such a thing, then what is it to be a part of that is constantly in flux. It's constantly changing. And if you are solid, sturdy, and steady, then you're going to get left behind by it. But if you're constantly changing as a part of that group, whatever that group is, then you are not part of it. You are being influenced by it. And at the same time, if you're influencing it, you're not part of it. You are pulling it. There's a bit of a tension. Say, philosophers like the word tension. There's a tension between identity with something and being a part of that thing and our relationship with that thing. It's the tension. Even Aristotle recognized this tension between primary and secondary substances, different from primary and secondary causality. It's that primary substances are things, particulars, individuals. Secondary substances are collections or groups of things, or the other direction, sub-things, parts of things. My hand is not a substance, it's not a thing, but it's a secondary substance because it is an identifiable part of me. Similarly, my family is a secondary substance because it is identifiably a thing that I am a part of, but I am the primary thing. It is secondary. I'm going to turn my gain down a little bit more. I keep seeing this peak whenever I look over. Oh. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I think that's how the distinction should be made, how we kind of solve issues like this, or how we can at least. That way, I think you can be part of something without. You can be part of something only by understanding that that thing is secondary to its individual components. And this applies especially to collections of persons. And this is why you find another vaguely neo-Aristotelian, somebody like Ludwig who's an economist primarily, but he did a lot of social philosophy. When he discussed social dynamics, societies, secondary substances like this, he treated them as secondary substances. They are emergent phenomena. Sorry, they don't exist of their own right. They're not real, but they are real to those who participate in them. Not right. That's not the right way of saying it. They're real in the sense of being a goal or a final cause or something in which, or a game or a structure in which you participate. But it's not actually a thing that has agency, that acts, that has causal power, like we individuals do. Oh, Kylene asked your character Mary Cullen, she's in the wedding dress. No, not yet. Going to. But no, the dress is just the best casual option. And that's in a mod. I modded that in to being able to wear that outside of that particular bit. Description below has my full list of mods, some of which I kind of regret having. The one of them, I can't figure out which one it is. I've actually looked into this. One of them gives you a ton of extra money, and it kind of annoys me because I always have maximum money, which seems wrong. It doesn't give you a ton of extra money. It massively increases selling prices. Like multiplies it by 1,000 kind of massively. But not yet.
Keep investigating.
Have not married Cullen yet.
I tried to make it happen again, but it wouldn't. Then I had a headache. And cocoa and a lie down. I'll keep at it. It's weird. Oh, and I made a rune. It's weird too. Be careful with it.
Okay. What rune?
Something strange for you, Inquisitor. You're used to that by now, right?
Yeah. Actually, yes, very much so. Let's figure the sword
found
out.
a sword in an elven ruin. Can you do something with it?
That broken thing? You can't stitch a sword. Metal doesn't heal. What if it did, though? That would be amazing.
Dagna, the sword?
Sorry. It's quality, right? I could use the pieces to make a plan for a new sword. One that's less broken. It's like the pieces are inspiration. That's just perfect for you.
Okay. Hey, level. It's a living blade. Oh, did I get that as an item? Or... Yeah. Oh, it's two-handed. Full of the Abyss. I'm gonna give that to Bull. Why not? 42 strength. Oh my god. Wow. Alright. Alright. Looks nice. Looks nice. Alright. Level up. What do I want? Yeah. That looks good. Right. Alright, let's go. Onward we go. Actually, put some stuff away for... Let's actually give that Vitar to Bull as well, finally. Yeah, that's just much better. Okay, onward. Where to next? Probably Emerald Graves, I think. Yeah, here is... Okay, Voice de Leon has the 3 dragons that we've already gotten to, so we can get to those straight away next week. We got to the place with the dragon on the Storm Coast. We know where the dragon is in Crestwood. Yeah, there is a dragon in the hinterlands. I haven't unlocked exactly that area yet, but I've unlocked somewhere nearby, so that's fine. There isn't one in the mire. There is one in Emerald Graves. I don't think I've gotten there yet. I'm trying to think if there is one in the... Oh yeah, there is one in the Exalted Plains, and we've gone there before. No, not yet. Not in Val Royale. That'd be funny, though. Hissing Wastes. I don't remember if there's a dragon in the Hissing Wastes. I know there is in the Western Approach. We haven't done everything, or anywhere near everything, in the Hissing Wastes. We did this. It just doesn't tell us that we did it all. An approach. There's the one dragon there. Hissing Wastes. Bunch of stuff there. We haven't gone to the Emerald Graves in a while. Let's go to the Emerald Graves. I know there is a dragon there. I don't actually remember if we got to that dragon or anywhere near that, or anywhere close enough to that dragon. And I also know there's tons of stuff to do here, as well as the Hissing Wastes, but I don't think there's a dragon, or I mean here, don't think there's a dragon in the Hissing Wastes. What's up with the trees? Isn't that Not the Anderfels. The land with Grey Wardens, which is basically blighted. It doesn't look blighted. I don't know. Anyway. Emerald Graves. God, shards. No. It's tomb. Not Hanin. Where is that dragon? Rathos' Step. Rifts. Storms. A lot of shards. Alright, screw it. Let's do that until we find the Dorian back wall. Solus. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. It's gonna protect the two mages, that's all. Ooh. Brutal storage there. That I just jumped away from as I noticed it was brutal. I swear there was no correlation there. I just started reading it as I turned away from it. Oh. Wow. Johnson.
Ah, your worship. Just watching out for local wildlife. Little glory, but it has to be done. It's just one bear that's become a problem. A huge one. Bigger than I've ever seen. It's rampaged through camp a few times, ripping apart our supplies. One of our workers broke his leg trying to get away. Next time, we might not be so lucky. It must be upset that we're in its territory. It's it or us, so far as it's concerned.
Okay, a problem bear. Maybe we can take care of the problem bear. Keep having to mute cough, or at least clear my throat. Again, very sorry about the whisperiness I've been doing tonight. At least this is not as close as I have ever gotten to an ASMR stream. I did get closer once, and I probably just shouldn't have streamed, because it was creepy. Weird. Way too close to the microphone. Gain way up. You know how it goes. Let's see. How do I get up there? This. Jumping a lot? Yeah. Alright. These are actually decently easy to find. Nope. Okay, that didn't work. Easy peasy. That's the problem bear. Alright, so we'll pick up these two shards, go to this. Then we'll head back to the problem bear. Ooh, nice musical interlude here. I like this. Yeah. Oh, that was it, though. There's like 3 bars of a melody just barely underneath there. And it goes away. Get up. Nope. You have to go the other way. Like, maybe this will work. Here we go. This is one of those games that is not meant for platforming, but the game absolutely expects you to platform. Eesh. Like, the jumping is incredibly imprecise. It's never quite clear what you can and can't stand on. Like, clear footing is not clear. But it's one of those games that totally expects you to be just platforming all over the place, climbing up and down things, without any clear indications of what you can and can't climb. I don't enjoy that. Hunting log. Or were they hunting for logs? That's weird. Anyway. It's actually really, really common. Like, platforming is just a great element to put into a game. It's just, like, really awkward if the game is not designed for it. And this game is not designed for it. Whee! See, like that. That wouldn't happen in a game that is competently designed for platforming. Not even optimized for platforming, just competently designed for platforming, jumping, exploration. They honestly could have kept this game without jumping. Like the first two. Or, alternatively, they could have gone all the way with their level design, with jumping in mind. Much more like Andromeda. Which Andromeda, game design-wise, would not be anything like the same without verticality. Deathroot? Really? That's what that is? Wherever that is, it wants me to go a really weird way to get there. I'm not gonna. See this Fairbanks fellow. Not anymore. Man. Yeah, I think I'm a little overpowered at this point. Because if I'm not mistaken, once you get over level 20, that's kind of end game. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of the idea.
Fairbanks is expecting you at the camp.
Because, you know, a little odd.
Watch your tongue.
Maker.
Let me just, well, I can't claim it for my own. Go up there to claim it for my own. That's annoying. I'll do that after I talk to him, I guess.
It is an honor to meet the Herald of Andraste.
I hope I don't disappoint.
Not at all. But as they say, actions speak louder. As my missive stated, we can help each other. You have encountered the Freemen. Aggressive bastards, no? They've killed a dozen of my people. We've tried to fight, but we cannot match their strength. You can. Why should you care about this, you ask? Because the Freemen are colluding with your enemy.
Really? Eileen says jumping in a game or real life, nope. Just nope. Well, I would have played all the Lara Croft games if not for those hard jumps. Platform games, I'll pass. I like games that are designed as platformers. Like, I even like the Tomb Raider games because they're usually designed well for platforming. Or even like like real traditional platformers, like Mario, Sonic, those sorts of things, because they're well designed for it with jump distances in mind and like that kind of thing. Actually, really good. I really enjoyed that sort of thing. The precision of it is, there's something really fun about that for me. I can also see why that would be gratuitously annoying from a gameplay standpoint. Now, what really annoys me is games where it's not a central focus. It's not a game design philosophy, but it's there anyway. And there's always that point everybody brings up. Like, when was the last time you jumped in real life? For most people, it was a very long time ago. I will occasionally jump when I'm playing with my kids. That's it. That is it. Like, I don't jump unless I am playing. And even then, not all that often. More running than jumping. Kylie says, highest level I managed to reach in Dragon Age Inquisition was 35. That is very high. Yeah, that's way up there.
Which enemy do you mean?
The rogue
We have a lot.
Templars. I've seen them through the woods, heading for the Freeman bases, leaving with crates. Destroy the Freemen, and they'll lead you straight to the Red Templars. This I promise.
Okay.
I'll look into this, Fairbanks.
All my information about the Freemen is right here, in our camp. Help us. And everything I know about the Dales, about these woods, I will share with the Inquisition.
Okay. I mean, that seems fair. Good deal. Let's go up so we can claim this location. Which really seems rude. This really seems like it's kind of occupied, but we're gonna claim it anyway because we're the Inquisition.
Kind of makes you want to retch, yes?
Did you hear? Maybe.
Yeah. Why did I bring Dorian? He's not exactly at home out in the middle of nowhere. He's I forgot, he's a bit of a rootless urban parasite, isn't he? Rootless cosmopolitan. Yeah, I feel like he is the kind of person that I would shout something along the lines of religious extremist as a compliment, you rootless cosmopolitan. Because he's a rootless cosmopolitan, and I am a religious extremist in this game. So, yeah. And then it says, in Stardew Valley, there's a mini-game within the game, minecart racing or something like that. Perfect timed jump the minecart. Though that's one game I'll never get all the trophies to. Oh man. Yeah. Even if it's designed like that for a mini-game, it can be okay. But sometimes not really. Rude. Fallen sister. With a Viridian mine. Okay.
I'm too old to be living in a forest.
Dorian, give me a hand in here, yeah? Yeah, those sorts of things are usually anywhere between decent and good skill challenges.
Of course.
The whole,
Of course we'll make it through this. We all will.
like, well-timed jumping and things like that.
I can't believe he's making us hide out here like mine.
If jumping is just a way to get around obstacles, though, that's, or like it is in this game, that's where it can just be annoying. If it's well-timed, if there are things like,
I don't want to talk right now.
if there's a skill challenge to it, that can be really cool.
I don't want to talk
Okay,
right now.
not now.
Maybe later.
Okay. She was serious. I wasn't sure. You never know if people who say that in games are serious or if they're just wanting you to actually talk to them and just playing coy. I guess. That happens. Strangely often. Why do I have this Veilfire?
All's well, it seems. I don't know.
Must mean there's a rune or something somewhere. Oh well, hello. No? No rune, just a plant. Whee! It says, in case of a dino invasion, the new Jurassic World movie is good, by the way. I'm the friend you want to bring with you because I can't run fast and can't jump worth the thing. This is all working on the assumption that your friends are the kind of friends to leave you behind as dinosaur bait. There it is.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
I haven't seen the new one.
Village is still standing.
I have heard that it is kind of like plot-wise all over the place. Like there's too many things going on, basically. But I love the idea conceptually, and I like the whole for a Jurassic Park kind of concept. I like conceptually the idea that you are that there's, you know, a world of dinosaurs that are now that are just kind of everywhere. And just to, if nothing else, just to see what that would do to the environment, you know? Like, I want to see the ecological impacts of a bunch of long extinct species suddenly being set loose into the wild, because we know. I mean, I don't actually want to see that happen. Like, in real life, that would be nightmarish, and the ecological disaster that would occur would be unparalleled in human history, at least. But it'd be cool. It'd be really cool to see in a movie. But yeah, I think that even just seeing that part could be really neat. Yeah, like I said, I think that I feel like I saw the first two Jurassic World movies. I might eventually see this one too, honestly. I might eventually. I love dinosaurs, so it might just be worth it for hey, cool dinosaurs, you know? Like, even if I don't wind up liking the plot, I might just love it because, hey, dinosaurs are really cool. Let's go back and deal with that bear, shall we? Oh, Ark Survival Evolved. Oh, okay, yeah, I might actually really like it. Like, despite plot Olympus, I would probably enjoy it because dinosaurs running amok is a really, really cool concept. I think that like, and this is a thing that really applied to the second Jurassic World, whatever it was called. I forget what the second one was called. This applied to that one just as well. That they did have that concept of, well, what if there were dinosaurs everywhere? How would people react to that? People would use them, obviously, and how would people try and use them, and what impact would that have, and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of cool, right? Some of those ideas are neat. But also, there's a big bear. There's another one. Oh god, there's two more. We got that one. Oh, there's cubs. There's cubs the size of grizzlies. That's terrifying. Yeah, I think that, honestly, the big thing about the new Jurassic World sequels, the first one was basically just a decent rehash of the original Jurassic Park. I do think it was probably inferior to the original Jurassic Park, but it had its merits. It was fine. It was pretty good. Jurassic World, that is. But I think that the sequels really could have just gone where The Lost World tried to go a little bit. It didn't go far enough. With just, you know, have an adventure story about there are dinosaurs everywhere. Be really cool. Or like could at least be really cool, just on its own, without having to bring in much of anything else. Oh, I missed.
You heard about Haven, the darkspawn monster, an archdemon, the whole town destroyed.
Yes. Sister, iridium mine. Let's just go over there. Not far. I'm doing all of this to try and find the heckin' dragon.
That convince you to put your blade away?
Actually, Rue, I'm going to join the Inquisition.
Oh, cool. You're welcome. Welcome to join. Wonderful. Yeah, she was only protecting her cubs. I mean, the Inquisition going into the territory of a mama bear the size of a box truck. I can understand why she's attacking. Especially because what is the Inquisition's reaction? Well, it's to send a god-anointed killing machine of mega death to go and destroy every bear in the zone. I mean, yeah, I can understand why she feels threatened. Because she was threatened. And well, what are you gonna do? Oh my. A lot of them. Oh, it's not. There's like 4 of them. Alright, here's the mine. You've heard how the Dalish would hang trespassers. Hung them from trees, is what they say. Would you believe they still see them? I swear on the Maker's beard. Maker's beard, okay. When I saw that face in the tree, I just about pissed myself. The screaming face of a murdered bastard right in front of me. I was afraid if I stayed long, I would hear it howling. Hadn't even been drinking. Don't believe me? Go see for yourself. I feel like a lot of times when I try and do anything like a French accent, especially if I'm even vaguely tired, it just kind of devolves into Quebecois, which is I don't know why I know Quebecois accent so well. Probably because I live in Florida, and my God, there's a lot of Quebecois around here, and they are terrible drivers, as a rule. There are very few exceptions to that rule. New York's probably worse. Oh man. That's not true. That's easy enough.
One way to solve the problem.
What is that? A mace, huh? Okay. I'm also never going to find all of the mosaic pieces. I never have. Probably never will. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not going to put too much effort into it this time. Really? It's supposed to work. Alright. I thought that was basically how you destroyed big chunks of red lyrium. Sister Costeau, Hugh. Yes, I know what Duhaime thinks about the people in Watcher's Reach. He's wrong. Refugees think us monsters. All because Duhaime and his like. They get in the way. I suppose we must eliminate them. But we must not hunt them. We will not murder them unless they force our hand. I hope you understand. Yours faithfully, Sister Costeau. As I've said, there is no reason to worry about the other Freeman cells. Since we are in the Dales, I shall invoke the heathen philosophy of Vir Adalan, way of the wood. Each tree is part of a greater whole. It is the same with us. We are all part of a greater plan. The Dales will be ours, that I promise, Sister Costeau. Sister Costeau seems oddly in charge of this. I don't know why there's a religious sister in charge of a terrorist movement, but okay. Like, I guess. Why not? I mean, there's Sister Nightingale, who is in charge of,
open the door. I
you know, our spy, or all of our spies for the Inquisition, so I guess. It's not that weird. Everyone out of the way so everyone can leave. Thank you. Thanks, Dorian. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, now what? This. Freeman. Oh, that's quite the complicated thing, isn't it? Looted Chevalier. Rifts. Mysterious circumstances of a fall. Wait, which one of these didn't I do? There's 3 astrariums. It says I didn't do all of them. Oh, I didn't do that one. Weird. Alright, I'll go and find that and do it. Okay. Alright.
I am surprised you do not practice blood magic, Dorian. Is it not popular in Tevinter?
While we're sharing surprises, you've done a lot less dancing naked in the moonlight than I expected.
Tevinter lore about elves remains accurate as always.
I wanted to see you make flowers bloom with your song, just once.
Oh my god. At least, I mean, at least the latter was a nice stereotype about elves. Instead of, oh, you probably practice blood magic. That's kind of an extremely negative stereotype of Tevinters. Okay, here we go. Let me move my camera. And I'll see this. Okay. What does this look like? Oh, God, this. Alright. If I go zigzag. I'm just gonna try it, see what happens. Okay. Yeah, here we go. I think I got it. God, I love those puzzles. This is so cool. Alright. Move me back down. Those are such cool puzzles. I love those. I also just, like, I totally need to steal some of those puzzles. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? I think, isn't it where the yeah, the dragon's up here, I think. Because my goal, like I said, the goal for tonight is to make sure that we at least get to the location of the dragon. We can take care of it next week. But let's go over here and take care of this villa while we're in the area. Normal nug skin, fine. Okay. Orders. Did you hear? Sister Cousteau has fallen. I'm surprised it took so long. She was soft. Unfortunately, we also lost the rats we were going to send to Sillidan. Oh, we have to make sure this doesn't happen again. Okay. Sillidan Keep is in the in Impuis de Lyon. That was where they were growing red lyrium out of people, which is really quite awful. Here's the estate. Aw. Get it missed. So by the way, that was why I never played a melee character before this. It's just because with mouse and keyboard, missing your attacks like that was so common. Or at least it was for me. Maybe I'm just bad at it. Maybe I'm just particularly bad at aiming with mouse and keyboard in a melee kind of game. But man, it was a pain. And I tell you, the auto aim feature with spells and with bows, it just made all the difference in the world. What was that? What was that? Is that sound? Duhame's notes, the shipments are prepared. Once again, the rats from Watcher's Reach are getting in my way. One woman got far enough into my camp to look in the crates, scrounging for food, no doubt. Sneaky little peasants, perhaps traps next time. What is with this music? This is like unnecessarily spooky music. And it seems like combat music, even though there's no combat. Maybe I'm missing something. Either way, we gotta go find Captain Duhame. Commander Duhame. That's probably him with the big axe, isn't it? Bonk.
That should relieve some of the refugees' worries.
He exploded. Glittering Darmalon. Try again. I like that. Even Mafarath the Betrayer had a part to play. Who are we to say the elves do not? The conclusion of the exalted march of the Dales. Yeah. I mean... Oh, excuse me. As I understand it, the elves are just as much children of the Maker as humans. Even by strict, direct chantry doctrine, I think. August has made progress in the Exalted Planes. We are together in this, but Maker's breath, how that irks me. That weapon, whatever secret is hidden in those glyphs, is mine by rights. Malafant trusts me most, but he won't have it. Not while I live. I will also say, who writes bah? The thing. I don't know. It sounds to me like a strictly verbal exclamation. Ooh, Hardened Hightown. Like I said, I will, I keep saying this. I really do want to work on that, audiobook recording of Hardened Hightown. But I keep not getting around to it. I'd like to soon. I keep saying I would like to soon. Want to. Maybe I eventually will. Do the whole thing. Not like tonight. Probably not tomorrow, given that my voice is all... But, you know, soon, hopefully. Oh, alright.
The Freeman's leader should be holed up here. This place has seen better days.
War always
Well,
brings
fine.
opportunists.
Alright.
I haven't heard anything from the plane. Have you? No, nothing recent anyway.
There we go. Yeah, Ruby. That's, not particularly useful, but okay. Lord Marl's journal. One of the villa's former owners, current occupants tossed aside. Artem has very solid discretion. Oh. Oh, okay. So he had a mage advisor. Okay, neat. I don't know what impact that is going to have, but maybe something.
We should search the area.
Part of a key. There's a rune inscribed on it.
Hello.
Or part of one.
Oh, alright. Oh, nothing? Okay, nothing. Sexuality and status. Okay. Again, that's the sort of thing that, again, if anyone is interested enough, I can go back and read, and discuss. Any of these really, they become codex entries after I hit exit. So if there is are any of these things that you see me pick up and not read, yeah, anything like this, Artem is his maid servant, it seems. Anything like this that you happen to see me pick up and then not read through, if there's any of that that you do want me to go back and look at, lore-wise, or if there's anything lore bits that you want me to read off and discuss, I can happily do that. One of the very cool parts of this game. Oh my gosh. The video I've linked before, I've shared before, well, a week or two ago, from a YouTube channel called The Closer Look. Oh, I can do a much better David Attenborough than Jane Goodall. Honestly, I can't do a very good Jane Goodall. I used to love her growing up, too. All of her documentaries and everything. Never do a good impression, though. Although, I will also specify that what you get tonight is substandard compared to what usually I can muster in terms of reading things out. Oliphant's journals. Okay, this is the guy in charge. Was killed. Priest tells me to remember Lawrence's life. Okay, he lost a lover, I guess. Orlais should belong to Orlesians. So he's nationalist. Which we're very well trained to assume that nationalism means bad guy. Very well trained to think that. Despite, of course, playing an extreme nationalist in not an extreme nationalist, but certainly a nationalist in Origins. Oh, well, whatever. The whole Farfarelden thing. Anyway, what did I talk about before? Something about. There it is. Oh, right. So there's this video from I believe it's the Closer Look YouTube channel. It talks about media of various types and whatnot. And one of his videos is on gaming as an art form. And he makes the argument that video games are art. And it's not really the tired way of arguing of like, well, the story can be wonderful, or like any other kind of literature, or that the visual design can be beautiful, or anything like that. No. His argument is primarily that the interactivity of video games allows it to do certain things that other forms of literature can't do. Just like certain forms of literature can do certain things that others can't, like our video games can't. Right? Like books, the written word has a particular affinity for things like internal monologue. And so therefore, characterization is usually excellent in books. Compared to visual media, where that's much harder. You can't really do internal monologue in a movie or in a show or that sort of thing. You can, but it usually comes off as clunky. In a video game, it is the player choice. It is the actions of the player that really drives the kinds of things that the art can do. I missed. And part of that he points out is the sort of optional world building that goes into things like codex entries or explorability.
We've struck a blow against the freemen.
You can explore all these different things and look into all of these different like codex entries, and you can read them or not. And this is the kind of world building you could never put into a book or a movie because time and space are limited. Whereas in a game, you can put as much information as you could possibly ever want in your game, and people who are particularly interested in some particular aspect of it will seek it out, will find it, and will learn about it organically through the interaction with the medium, which is just a fascinating way of approaching such things, of approaching world building. And it's why, I've argued before, I think that it's why video games have such an advantage in world building. Why you can build an intricate world like Dragon Age or like Mass Effect, or why the expansions to existing franchises, why so often franchises are expanded the most consistently, completely, coherently, and extensively in video games. Think Star Wars, think Star Trek, think Pick your favorite franchise that gets a game adaptation. At least it gets a good game adaptation, or gets a game expansion more than an adaptation. It does a fantastic job at expanding the lore because you have not just so much more time, but so much more freedom to explore things. Or not. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. Oh, Kylene says, I met Jane once at an airport. I was too starstruck to say anything. It was very sweet. I'm sure she is. I absolutely get the impression that she is just a delightfully sweet and sincere person. Like, she very clearly, like, just absolutely loves everything that she does. And is just so incredibly dedicated to it.
Red lyrium.
So,
wow.
They were making money off the Templars?
Not anymore.
Good. I love to see sincerity in people. Like, honestly, I think that's why a lot of our, like, wholesome celebrities are so wholesome. Is because they're so genuine. Like, think, who's another good example of this? Steve Irwin was a great example of this. He was just so incredibly heartfelt and genuine. Everything he did, you could just see how much joy he had in it. You could just see it oozing through the screen at you. And there's something just... I'm gonna say attractive, but don't take that the wrong way. There's just something that draws you in and just grabs you and brings you into their excitement with people like that. Oh man, it's just wonderful. So this weird device, Lord Moral, posed a few questions to my contacts in the White Spire, discreetly of course, lest they want the piece for themselves. From what I can gather, the device, rustically dubbed a lyrium epilon, is meant to restore broken runes. They are not widely used. Some suggest that the runes, if the runes were affixed to an object, the device could restore the item itself, although I was unable to confirm the truth of this. This is purely academic, as it requires a mage to function. It is nevertheless a rare piece, prized among the collectors of curiosities. I trust you're pleased with the purchase. Sincerely, Emile Fabre, collector and purveyor of unique ephemerae. Okay. You're a mage. Make it work. Cool. What is it? What'd I get? Oh. Alright. I put the key together. Yay! Oh my god. Ooh, dragon slaying rune. That'll be good next week. Anything else in here? Anything I missed? No. Okay. Alright, let's get out of here. I also love that little bit, like, stuff like that, stuff like corpses. Lots of games have zombies, right? Not many games, or not lots of media, I guess I should say, broadly speaking. Lots of media has zombies. This game has a very specific, well, not this game specifically, this world, has a very specific, how would I put it? This world has a really specific there are specific impacts to the fact that there are zombies. That there are spirits that can inhabit and control and wreak havoc with dead bodies. Okay? It directly affects a lot of the ritual. And I would properly say religious ritual in the game, in the game's world. There's an Andrastian tradition. The primary Andrastian tradition is to burn corpses. It's to burn bodies as part of a funerary rite. That's a really cool aspect, and that's exactly what you should expect in a world where spirits, where demons basically can infest dead bodies. That's exactly what you should expect. That's pretty cool. And you also see certain places in the world where burning bodies is not common, and it gives an interesting, viable alternative, which is the mortalitasi of where the Anderfels. What's the nation with the mortalitasi? I don't remember. Is it Ravane? I think it might be Ravane. Anyway, whatever it is, the mortalitasi are basically necromancers. They will basically take control of corpses, of people, just of ordinary folks, of their, of their city's dead. And they will take control of these dead so that people don't, so that spirits don't. I mean, it's a good reason. It's a really good way of having something like the long sought after anti-trope lawful good necromancer, Everybody wants an excuse to have necromancers be good in their game. Often you'll find this in D&D.
Reminds me of the public baths in Menrathus, but colder.
Like a lot of people want to play a necromancer, but they also don't want to play like an evil necromancer. And the problem is that's really hard to swing. It's really hard to come up with a reason why necromancers would be good. But if bodies are rising of their own accord, basically because demons are inhabiting them, and the alternative is your necromancers do it instead, then that's a really good way of justifying necromancers being good guys and being socially accepted. I think it's really cool. I think it is really cool, and it's very organic. The whole idea is very organic to the way things work in this world. Let's see. No, not that way. I cut across. All right. Oh, in Navarra. Okay, Navarra. That's right. I will also say it's a little strange that they gave Dorian the Mortalitasi specialization. I mean, he's Tevinter. You would think he would have a specifically Tevinter kind of specialization. Maybe blood magic, cliche as it is. You'll notice, though, there is no blood magic option in this game for the first time. There was in the first two. Even as Hawke, who is, like, character-wise, is supposed to despise blood magic. which gets really ironic in this game if the Hawke you import into this game is a blood mage, and in this game he's talking about how blood mages are just the scum of the earth, that kind of thing. I think that's kind of the funny kind of ironic. Yeah, anyway, it's yeah, it's a little odd, like I said, it's a little odd that Dorian is a Mortalitasi, because he's definitely not Navaran. But, you know, somebody had to, I guess. I mean, I don't know. They didn't necessarily have to have a Mortalitasi companion, or they could have had a Mortalitasi companion who was actually a Mortalitasi. But then you would have to not have Dorian, or not have Solus, or not have Vivienne, and they're kind of hard to miss out on, any of them. They're all pretty important. Cool, but no. 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 Ooh, cool. Ooh, very cool. That's really low DPS. That's really disappointing. Let me see if Solus can make good use of that. I don't think so. I think it's way lower than his. Yeah, it's way lower. Darn it. Guess he's keeping the fishing pole. Oh well. Alright. Where to? Rift. Let's go do the Rift. Oh, and in that case, let's switch out... Dispel. Honestly, I don't even know if he needs revival unless we're doing a boss fight. I don't see anyone really dying at this point in this area. Maybe next week with the whole dragon thing. Maybe. Just maybe. Where we going? This mountain. There it is. I gotta say, this place is a little bit difficult to navigate. Hate these.
I believe I sense one of the artifacts of my people.
Oh, wait, wrong button. That button. Okay. Thing's gonna blow up on me, isn't it? Where'd we go? Is that it? We done? Oh, that was it. Cool. Okay. Okay. I really hope that this music, because it's official soundtrack, it probably won't get copyright struck, but who the hell knows?
That should help strengthen the veil.
Yeah, nice. Like I keep complaining about this, but a lot of the time the music from this game gets copyright struck for no good reason whatsoever. Like, someone, just some rando, put it into YouTube's content ID system. Some rando who has absolutely nothing to do with the with EA, with BioWare, with the composer, nobody, just somebody. Just put it into YouTube's content ID system. And I keep getting, and apparently a lot of other streamers, Let's Players, etc., just keep getting hit for copyright on an 8-year-old game by someone who's not the licensee, or license holder, whatever. Because of course they do. What happened there? Don't do that. Wow. Hunt down those Inquisition bastards. Uh-oh. They're after us. They know. Villamoral's taken. Malafant's gone. We're losing our grip. What now? Men are starting to balk, talking about giving up. Oh, goody. We're winning. More orders. More of the same, it looks like. We go in here. Let's see. What is that? Pretty, that's what it is. What's that? English banner, nice. Oh, this is just out. Alright, weird. There's a book in here. Somewhere I need to get to. Let's see. Who do I do that? Oh, right there. Duh. Well, you have a rogue in the party. Herondale War. I don't know. Again, the kind of thing I can read and discuss if you guys want. Honestly, the geopolitical history of Thedas is really interesting. And there's a lot that I'd like to talk about, but again, a lot of that is a lot of that is the kind of stuff that would take a lot of just sitting and talking, which is not exactly what I want to do on stream. No, we'll take your lives.
It's always remarkable how some will take advantage of chaos to further their own cause.
The whale. Very cool. Oh, the Chateau Courtyard. We have to go back there for that, don't we? I know exactly where that one is. For once, there's actually a treasure map that I know exactly where it leads to. Oh, God. Alright. Alright. Let's go and check it out. Yeah, I know exactly where that goes. No, that's not a door. This is a door. I already went in this door. Right in. Here we go. Needed that. Or wanted that. Sir August's messages. August. Might I remind you, none of us really understands these heathen etchings. We're going as fast as we can. I would add that some of the men are uneasy about the whole thing. You know, the stories of elven curses. This weapon you believe hidden here. Better be worth it. Oh, is this the Sullivan blade? The thing that I already found? Because, not worth it. I mean, it's pretty nice, but... still, no. Hilda. I hope you're well and adjusting. Now this is now your home. The Imperial Army did not appreciate you. Your Empress used you for her own purposes. Forget her. Remember, you are no deserter. You are free. It's a lot manipulative. But what do you expect? Alright. This is all taken care of. Now what? Something there. And then there's another rift. Okay. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Got an early morning. Go to bed. Good night. I'll see you next time. Next time for dragons. So see you then. The widow's woe. My Robert died last week, victim to men who once wore the colors of our beloved Empress. His remains were burned as our chantry bids, and his last wish was to have his ashes scattered on the plateau that overlooks the great wood. But brigands and traitors have taken these woods, and I cannot fulfill his wish. This is as far as I go. But there are good-hearted souls in this world, and I pray the Maker sends us one who may journey where I cannot. And Roste will look well upon he who hears a widow's plea. With broken heart, widow Karen. Someone asked, do I prefer this or KOTOR? Tough call. Very tough call. Also, welcome. Hello. You're right. They're very different. But at the same time, they're also very similar. In a lot of ways, they're very, very similar. They're both very much BioWare style, story and character driven, and also choice-based RPGs. And they're both very, very good for a lot of the same reasons. At the moment, I don't know if I can say overall. Not fairly. But at the moment, I think I prefer KOTOR. For a couple of reasons. One, I'm at a point in this game where most of what I'm doing is side quests. Which, don't get me wrong, the side quests in this game are well designed. For the most part. The collection quests are just not, but what do you expect? Collection quests are always tedious. But the side quests in this game are good, and they're very world-building, but they're not as interesting to talk about, typically. I say that having stood in place and talked for 30 minutes earlier. Whereas in KOTOR, I'm at a point where I'm mostly doing main story. And honestly, there's just a lot less superfluous side content in KOTOR. Like, most of KOTOR is main plot. What can I dispel? I can only catch one of them, can't I? I can only catch one. That one. Oh, that was it. That was quick. The other reason that I think right now I'm kind of preferring KOTOR is because I've been in a Star Wars mood And I think most importantly, more so than just being in a Star Wars mood, I've been in the mood for some good Star Wars, because I've been starved of it. Really, just kind of starved of really good Star Wars. Troilus Urtubis? The Great Mission? What is this? The Menace. A good example of the Menace, less active than the one in Leeds. Forcing air from a leaky bellows. And a loaf still of cheese. As stormy. For the river camp. Is this about the dragon? This might be about the dragon. Let me see if I can get to that quarry. Then observe the menace. Oh, the Lego Skywalker Saga has some smart moments. Yeah, I usually really like the Lego games. I've heard all sorts of different things about the Lego Star Wars game, the new one, the Skywalker Saga. That, like usual, man, some of those Lego gags, some of the like jokey moments, the little parody moments are great. Because of course they are. It's a Lego game. What do you expect? But also at the same time, I heard that the puzzling, like the puzzles, especially the in-mission puzzles, leave a lot to be desired. And that's disappointing. That's some of the best gameplay in the previous, especially the Lego Star Wars games. Especially just with the different hats and heads and things. It says, that's cheese. Can we not be in combat right now? I'd love to not be in combat right now. Anyway, yeah, I would probably still want to play the new Lego Star Wars. I kind of just want to go back and play some of the old ones as well. There. Okay, now we're out of combat. Jesus, it's ridiculous. Anyway, I don't want to go back and play like the what was it, Complete Saga? I think that was the one with the 6, right? Anyway, I kind of want to go back and play those too. At some point, maybe, who knows? Probably not on stream. That's not really an extremely philosophically in-depth kind of game, but one of these days maybe. Oh man, you're getting close to the times 1,840 stud multiplier. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's insane. Alright. Stormy Menace makes noise like a provoked cat at intervals of 1 hour, 15 minutes. What? And by 4 swirling wraith-like demons. Name them Primus, Secundus, Tertius, and the Dummy. First 3 orbit the Menace. Dummy follows, but often pauses and heads in a different direction. Goes around, lost man trying to find his bearings. Passing deer. Through the attention of Dummy. I demonstrated tremendous purpose. Felt almost proud. Deer should not bend that. Another menace seen further down the river. Seems in its infancy. No demons. I believe I have enough knowledge of the behavior of the menaces. Attempt to destroy one. I'll attempt this with the nascent menace. Caution's key. Are they talking about rifts? Oh, I really hope they're not talking about rifts. Because that's death. You're courting death. Alright, let's, yeah, because there was a rift right here. It probably is. Oh, jeez. So that's not very good. Very bad thing happened. Anyway, yeah, as part of scratching this itch, this good Star Wars itch, in addition to playing KOTOR on stream, I just started last night, as it happens, a Star Wars Edge of the Empire tabletop game, online tabletop, through Foundry. Foundry Virtual Tabletop. It's an absolutely fantastic piece of software. If you ever play like D&D or anything else like that online, Double check to see if it manages your particular favorite system, but if it does, my gosh, it is amazing. It's fantastic. It's a one-time purchase by the DM, or GM, or storyteller, or whatever it's called, depending on the system. And it can connect to any number of people. It is hosted through your own router, so there's no real need to. There's no storage limit for things or anything like that. Fantastic. Anyway, like I said, highly recommend the bit of software. It's called Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Anyway, that's my little. I'm not sponsored, but I'd like to be. No, it's excellent. And I've been, so far, I haven't gotten much into the system yet, but so far, this is the first time I've ever used Edge of the Empire. So far, I'm liking it. I think I like it. Character creation worked pretty well. We mostly did character creation and introducing the first little quest. We're doing a bit of a, like, the campaign is, I'm kind of inspired by an idea I had when I first started watching The Mandalorian Season 1 was, hey, just based on the space western aesthetics of The Mandalorian, wouldn't it be cool if there was a Red Dead in space? Just Star Wars, something like Red Dead Redemption, combined with a little bit of Firefly, combined with some old, like, EU smuggler stories, that kind of stuff. So basically it's a bunch of people on a big transport ship, wandering the galaxy, trying to stay ahead of the Empire, stay ahead of other crime syndicates, make their way. You know? So far so good. Got a party, which is part of the big group. There's a bunch of NPCs I've got out and around who can be interacting and doing stuff. Started on Word Mentel. Quickly going to be fleeing from Word Mentel, because you know how these sorts of things go. Word Mentel might be the equivalent of Blackwater if you've played Red Dead Redemption, but anyway, something like that. I'm very much looking forward to playing it. Or playing it more. The final blood-smeared entry, written in a shaky scrawl. The great mission, final test. Learned so much since that first day on that ridge. Thought I knew enough to try to interact with a menace. To touch it. This didn't go well. Instruments did nothing. Didn't affect menace at all. We're all doomed. Just going to lie here for a while.
Got too close to the rift.
Yeah. Red Templar. The big bear. Ow. It blocked. Alright. There's a big bear. Anyway, the other part of why I'm really craving some good Star Wars is because Kenobi is bad. Kenobi was deeply disappointing. Not surprising. I was not really expecting it to be all that good, sadly. But I had a little bit of unfounded hope. Just because an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, if it was quiet enough and pensive enough and slow enough, if it stayed the heck on Tatooine, could have actually been really good. Unfortunately, they did the opposite of all that. So, I didn't actually watch after the second episode. I have watched clips and synopses and reviews, just because I don't want to put myself through that. I really don't want to put myself through that. Oh, come on. I already ranted enough about the platforming in this game. Can it be over? There it is. Jesus. Weird. The arms. Ow. Anyway. yeah, it's overall I've been deeply disappointed by a lot. Again, disappointed, but overall not terribly surprised. That'll work. Nice. You'll love to see it. Alright.
Dorian, I can't believe you drank that swill at the tavern.
I can't believe they served that swill at the tavern. What is Skyhold coming to?
Then why did you drink it?
I couldn't stop. With each sip it can't be that bad, can it? Before I knew it, I was analyzing the nuances of its flavor, observing its effect on my nausea. I was in a catatonic trance, fueled by the stench of disgusting dwarven ale.
Or you're a drunkard with terrible taste.
There is that.
Either. Both. Whatever. Let's go check this out before we go in here. Last wishes. That has to be where the dragon is, right? It's up here somewhere. It's up to the north. Gosh, we only have a half an hour, which is not enough time to clear out this whole mansion, this whole estate. We do not have enough time to clear out that estate. That'll have to maybe be, I don't know, next time? Nah, not next time. The time after next, maybe? I don't know. I already promised to do dragons next time, so I'm committing to that. I want to go to Ferelden. I leave everything, my paintings, the cat, and worst of all, Mother's little garden. It's been such a comfort to me since her passing. I don't know what I'll do, but Liesel? A little Yves to think about. The war threatens to consume more of Orlais every day. Only Herring, the cat and her kittens. Cat had her kittens the day we left. Make her look after her, I cannot. We couldn't even take a little one for Yves, even though he begged. They were too small. They would have died without their mother. I'm so tired. We spotted a house in the forest abandoned. There's a roof and some hay, and Liesel agrees that we can stay here for a day or two to recover. Liesel and Yves have been gone a long time. I haven't seen them in days. Mother made a bed for them upstairs, and I suppose Yves is still young. Young ones need their sleep. It's so good to have Mother with us on this long journey. She always knows what to do. It rained today. Mother and I played a hiding game in the house. I found Liesel. I didn't like it when I found her. She was screaming about Yves. I looked at what I wrote before, and I guess there is an Yves. I think he's our dog. Mother told Liesel to be quiet. He was ruining the game. Mother says I bore her. She's just sick again, like she was back home. I didn't tend to her well then. Got sicker because of me, not this time. I asked her what she needed. She says there's a waterfall close by and a wild crystal grace shrub growing by its edge. She wants me to get rose hips for her tea. Okay. Demons are involved. Demons are very, very highly involved in this situation. I don't know how demons are involved, but they are most definitely involved. That was creepy. That was a very creepy account. Like, she completely forgot her, I guess, brother? That he existed entirely? Something was messing with her memory there. Yeah, that just read as deeply, deeply demonic. Oh, hey, a bunch of giants. Honestly, I can probably take out giants at this point. Decently well. Maybe I will. Not going to focus on it, but Stalin. Oh, hey. Fighting some Red Templars. Cool. Let them fight. Stalin. Taken care of. Okay. Those two. I love that. There we go. Okay. There's a tomb here. Oh man, that's again wildly overcomplicated. This, I'm just gonna try and go west. Because I think the dragon's up this way, but I don't know, we'll see. Gonna try and just generally go west. That should lead me in, I hope, the right direction. What was that? A box. Didn't block fast enough. Alright. Only had to knock that one over one time. Such unbelievable damage output on a Dual Daggers rogue. Insane. Alright, let's go over here. What? Hello. No, we're good. Oh. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. Sure I know where this guy is, and I'll see if there's a camp I can make near here. I don't think so, though, fortunately. There's another giant. I guess either of these is the nearest camp. Neither of which is close by, like, at all. Disappointing. It's gonna be annoying for next week. Yeah, I'm gonna know. Oh. There we go.
Safe travels. Good day, my lady.
Okay. Oh, cool. Oof. All right, there we go. Taken care of. Keep accidentally drawing aggro from the wildlife. Well, I'm accidentally fighting dragons, or not dragons, giants. Giants, dragons, what's the difference? Oh, temple. Red temple camp. Woo! Now that's how mages are supposed to work. Just pumping out massive damage. I mean, that's not how... Actually, no, that's wrong. That's not how mages are supposed to work. Mages aren't supposed to be DPS. They're supposed to be crowd control. But they can be DPS. What the heck is the where is the dragon? I keep hearing it. Is that it? Oh yeah, hello. Yeah, but where are you going? Alright, if I watch, maybe I'll see where you land. If you land. I guess you're not. Where are you going? Okay, over there. Got it. Right over there. A weird place to get to. Okay, let's go over that way, at least, so we can find on the map where the heck the dragon is. Even if, like I said, I'm not actually going to go after them this time. See, look. This is, I think, a scaled one. If I recall, these are the creatures that we were reading about last week in the Deep Roads. That were at war with the dwarves thousands of years ago.
You're always so nondescript. Please speak up. I cannot hear you over your outfit.
Oh man, that's such a great exchange. I love those two. Oh my gosh. But this is the very ancient and otherwise very secretive fifth race. So you get humans, you get elves, you get Kunari, you get dwarves. Plus whatever the scaled ones are. Those. Let's not get too close here. I don't want to actually engage. That is a terrible, terrible spot for a fight. Oh, that's horrible. I don't want to fight right there. But okay, I guess we're gonna.
You Southerners will just build things anywhere, won't you?
I guess. And some of us will. Hello? All right. All right, see you later, dragon. See you next week. We'll be back to beat you up then. I really wish that there were a camp right around here. Or even any kind of a fast travel site. There's really not. And that's kind of annoying.
This should stop the ash wraiths from returning, hopefully.
Hmm. Yeah, we're not going to have time for the tomb tonight. Most assuredly not. We will have time to finish this. Next 20 minutes. Maybe go elsewhere. Shortly.
You saved my people. We'd given them up for dead. Perhaps the stories are true.
Who are these free men of the Dales?
Most are deserters from the war, tired of fighting and dying for a cause in which they have no stake. But recently, the free men have organized, started attacking anyone and everyone. Their new leaders are driving them to take the Dales for themselves.
I mean, that is a noble cause from the beginning. People who just want the fighting to end. But trying to conquer part of the land as part of Orlais as a piece of that is extremely dangerous and largely counterproductive.
What is your opinion of the Civil War?
When I quarrel with my cousin, wine is spilled. Perhaps someone loses a tooth. When Celine feuds with hers, a country is torn apart. It's over now. But it will take years to recover from the damage.
Tell me about your people.
Simple people. Most have lost family. All have lost their homes. I found a few, helped them, found this cave for shelter. Word spread and more came. Even with the war over, some are afraid to leave. Where will they go?
I need to be going.
I'll be here.
Yeah. We can do something about that. Oh, now we need to speak to him again. Okay.
I'm standing because of you. I've little to give, but I'll always be grateful.
How did you end up in the Viridium mine?
Oh. We desperately needed supplies, and tried to steal some from the freemen. The mine didn't seem well guarded, and I used to be in the militia in my home village. I don't know why we weren't killed. I do remember Sister Cousteau talking about sending us to the Emprise de Lyon. Maybe I was mistaken. I can't imagine what they'd do with us there.
Oh, grow lyrium out of you? That's bad to think about.
I hope things are going well.
The supplies we salvaged from Cousteau's mine have been a great help. Thank you again for saving us.
Okay, cool. Very good. Alright, you want to talk now?
Inquisitor, You saved Gertrude and the others. Thank you so much. This is bold of me, but if I could have a moment.
I'd like to know more about you and the rest of the people here.
Most of us are simple folk. Farmers, fishermen. Jolene over there is a smith. Just people trying to escape the war.
So basically the same goal that the Freemen of the Dales started off with, but then went astray. And look, it looks like you guys are kind of militarizing a little bit too. Careful. Careful that you do not become that which you seek to, or at least flee from. I don't know, I was going to say destroy, but that might be a little bit too far.
What else do you know about Fairbanks?
He is a good man. He found us when we most needed him. He kept us safe. He doesn't like to talk about himself, so I actually don't know much about him.
Okay.
I'm here. What do you need?
This is about Fairbanks. There is a rumor that he is of noble blood. Once the war is over, many of us will return to serve our lords, to work their fields, raise their brats. Most of the aristocracy know little of the lives of commoners. They care nothing for us. Fairbanks is different. He is a great man. There is much he could do if he had the power. If the rumor is true, if Fairbanks is noble and we have proof, do you see what I'm saying?
So he's Robin Hood. Basically, what you're saying is he's Robin of Locksley.
Does Fairbanks know about this rumor?
He doesn't like it. And he won't let me discuss it. Stubborn ass.
This rumor about Fairbanks being noble, what do you want me to do about it?
Oh, I don't mean to impose, but you travel all over the Dales, don't you?
More or less.
Perhaps if you found something that could help. I've written everything I know in my journal. You can look at it.
This rumor about Fairbanks being noble, what do you want me to do about it?
Oh, I don't mean to impose, but you travel all over the Dales,
Okay,
don't you?
no, we already talked.
Perhaps
Thank you.
if you found something that could
I'll go do that. Bye. We'll go talk to Fairbanks. Oh god, there's a bunch more to do, and it's in places that I already went to. Oh gosh. There I go. Getting ahead of myself again with my quests. I always do this. I always go places, and then realize that I need to go back to them. Well, I mean, I need to go back to Villa Morel anyway, for that little dove statue. So, I don't know, maybe next time if we finish all of the dragons, which is unlikely, maybe I'll do that.
Any news, Inquisitor?
The Freemen have been defeated.
They hurt so many of my people. Now it's finally over. Thank you. Perhaps with the Freemen gone, we can find a proper home. Argon's lodge was always well situated. Inquisitor.
There's a rumor circulating that you're of noble birth.
Oh, Clara, I told you not to pursue this. Pay that rumor no mind. I'm not noble, nor would I desire such.
If you say so.
I need to be going.
Good day, then.
Huh. I kind of have to wonder. So, this brings up an interesting quandary. Primarily of if he is noble, which I think so. I think he is, if I recall. And we find proof, and we bring it to him. Should we expose that? Given that he clearly doesn't want anything to do with his nobility or the nobility of Orlais. Especially given that he could help people a great deal. I don't know. I mean, ultimately it's probably ought to be his choice, right? But I think that the right choice for him to make is very clearly to assume his title, etc. Make use of it for good if possible. Again, if possible, maybe a stretch for such things, but it is very hard to. It's very hard to do unmixed good for people in a position of political power. In other words, it's hard to do good for people without also harming either them or others. That's the nature of politics, is for everything to be by nature zero sum. Let's see. Rays of Puistillon, Exalted Plains, Hissing Waste, Metals. I could have sworn there was something new. Ah, there's one. There it is. What's this? Dagna, mind your mentor. Inquisitor, I have a request, a favor really. A lot of people helped me get where I am today, and I've thanked them all except one, my father Jannar. He didn't really help exactly. Forbid is closer, but family's family. Just like lyrium can only be worked by those who can't dream in the fade. I am the person I am today because my father shaped me. I still owe him for who I am. Trouble is, what I am is castless. Can't ever go back. And everything I've ever sent has been refused, so I was hoping I could put together a package, and it could arrive in Orzammar with a little Inquisition flair. Something to wow the gates and maybe get my father to look at it. That would be ever so sweet of you, Arcanus Dagna. Aww. Aww. If Dagna wishes her father to know all that she has accomplished, send an entourage to match it. All of Orzammar will know. Ooh, that'd be a good idea. I like that. I suspect that it is less the gates and more the father. That is the problem. Perhaps the package should simply appear in his smithy. He cannot deny it then. A simple notice that we are grateful she is here. If he is proud, that will be enough. If he is not, ceremony will only sour him further. No. No, we need to sour him further. Inform all of Orzammar that Dagna, the Arcanist, is a brilliant and very strange person, and has been a wonderful help to the Inquisition. The force that is saving the world. Go, Josephine. Do your thing. The entourage on behalf of Dagna was well received in Orzammar. Some trade information was discussed, and Dagna's father was apparently recognized for helping make it possible. He responded with a formal letter of gratitude. Very formal. I suspect that he did not like that Dagna's success was despite his wishes. My apologies, this may have been a miscalculation. Dagna appreciates the effort, however. Josephine. Note from Dagna. Thank you, Inquisitor. I didn't expect that my father would welcome contact, but I wanted to show him how much I've... It doesn't matter. He knows I'm well, and that's enough. Ancestors, right? Oh. Well, I still think it turned out well. I still insist that all of Orzammar understanding and knowing that she's done great, wonderful things, that's a good thing. Hard to call that anything short of good. Alright, we got 10 minutes. What do we do in 10 minutes? Not very much. There's some people around I haven't talked to in a little while. Go see what Josephine's up to.
Yes?
Where were you raised, Josephine?
I was born in Antiva City, but when I turned 15, Mother declared I'd attend finishing school in Val Royeaux. But I bawled into her skirts the day I had to leave.
Aww.
You must have missed her terribly.
I did, and she was most unsympathetic to my wailing. But my mother only wanted the best for me. Living in Orlais was an education in itself.
What did you learn at this finishing school in Val Royeaux?
Among other things, mathematics, rhetoric, poetry, history, logic, and a great deal of etiquette. I still remember Madame Beventir
plus
switched
etiquette
on my knuckles when I forgot the basic tenets of Nevaran dining customs. For a dowager approaching her 80th year, she had quite the arm.
The liberal arts plus etiquette. Nice.
How did the younger you like Val Royeaux when you arrived?
Have you ever stepped into a new city and felt the buildings couldn't possibly be real? That was Val Royeaux to me. So beautifully foreign, I gaped at its spires for months.
Does Antiva City have nothing that compares to Val Royeaux?
Antiva City is a jewel among the capitals.
I sound like I offended there.
I did not appreciate that before I traveled. There are multitudes of places I'd like to see. Saharan, the Anderfels, whatever lies past the Amarantine Ocean.
Those across the sea, whoever they are.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
I also like that there are so many other mysteries set up in Thedas. Like those across the sea, like the scaled ones, like the other dwarven tigers even.
What do you need?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
Anything new?
Want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
No, that's nothing.
Thanks,
Okay.
Varric.
No problem.
Yeah, well. Have I ever mentioned how disappointed I am that Brian Bloom doesn't get more work? I mean, don't get me wrong, he gets a lot of work, but, but like, he's excellent. He's also an incredible narrator too. I'd love to see him in more things. Like the last thing I've seen him in live action was the A-Team. He was one of the he was like one of the CIA spook villains, the A-Team. Wait, was he CIA or was he Army? One of the villains. He was one of the villains.
I hoped you'd stop by.
May I ask you something?
Always.
If you don't mind my asking, the hero Ferelden was a circle mage. Did you know him?
I attended his harrowing, actually. He was a talented mage. Considering he brought an end to the Blight, that goes without saying.
Do you think Templars should cease to exist?
No. I may have chosen to leave that life, but I respect those who remain. Magic ungoverned could tear the world apart. It's doing so now. Templars are trained and able to confront such dangers.
What would you suggest?
Some call the Circle a prison that can only breed resentment. Perhaps opportunities to work outside the Circle. A mixed military service or healers' clinics with Templar support. And there must be a safer way for Templars to leave. Templars can lose their memories to lyrium. Some call it a gift, to forget the failed harrowings, the demons. Some atrocities haunt me still. But to lose what good I can recall, I nearly lost my mind once. It is no gift.
Do you think that could work? Would people accept it?
Mages would be watched, but could pursue interests outside the Circle. Neither freedom nor prison. I don't know.
You've mentioned siblings. With everything that's happening, do you know if they're all right?
I've received word from my eldest sister. She was always good at tracking me down. South Reach has experienced the same chaos as everywhere else. My family is fine. Pray they remain so.
Your sister tracked you down. She didn't know where you were.
I let her know I was in Haven. She assumed I survived. It's not the first time. I may have neglected to tell her when I was transferred to Kirkwall.
Why?
I wasn't in a good state. I wanted only to leave. I received an angry letter about my disappearance 2 years later. For all her reprimands, it was a relief to hear from someone who knew me before the Blight.
You still regret the man you became after leaving Ferelden?
After the Ferelden Circle, I thought all mages were like the ones there. Knight Commander Meredith's methods were harsh, but they kept people safe.
You said Meredith was unstable.
She was my Knight Commander. I had no reason to distrust her. She wasn't wrong about the Blood Mages in Kirkwall. Meredith encouraged my anger towards the mages. There was only so far I would go, and she knew that too. I was her second in command. She kept decisions from me, those I would question. I believed she was serving the city. I never thought to question her, not until it was too late.
You can't control everything. You stood up to her in the end.
If I hadn't, would I be like her now? I wanted mages locked away as much as she did. I trusted they were treated reasonably well, but I should have done more. I should have looked into it. It's not yet enough. The Inquisition is my chance to atone. I will see it through.
That's all I wanted to know.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend.
Well, I mean...
There you are.
Do you have some time?
Of course.
I was hoping we could spend some time together.
I would like that.
That's, I think, how we will wrap tonight. We're basically out of time anyway. This is a good stopping point, I think. Yeah, good stopping point. Good place to end for the night. Good place to wrap up until next time. So, in that case, thank you all for joining me this evening. Apologies again for the barely passable voice this evening. I've had some issues this week with just basically losing my voice. I assume it has something, as I said early on, I assume it has something to do with, gosh, excuse me, terrible heartburn from, excuse me again, from a delicious but ultimately regrettable Mexican dish. Aztec soup. Very good, but again, didn't agree with me very well. Anyway, unfortunately, I've been tragically stuck at a low thrum in terms of my voice. So I hope so thank you for coming through with that, and I hope to see you guys on Monday for more Knights of the Old Republic. And again next Thursday, as we are back here and ready to fight and, well, find, hunt, and then fight as many dragons as we possibly can. So, once again, thank you all. Everyone has a wonderful evening. Good night.